A new anti-gay bashing bill has been introduced. California State University Northridge celebrates its one-year anniversary of reopening after the earthquake. And 1,500 people march in downtown LA to protest Proposition 187.
Hi, I'm Pamela Byse.
And I'm Keith Drucker. We're here on the campus of California State University Northridge.
Welcome to Valley View.
A local assemblywoman has introduced legislation to protect gay and lesbian students on California public, school, and college campuses. Valley View's Amy Lamb attended the press conference at Hamilton High School.
High school and college students were invited to attend a press conference at Hamilton High School. Assemblywoman Sheila Q is from the 41st District. She is the one who calls for the news conference. Q says the new bill, Dignity for All Students, would ensure the human and educational rights of gay and lesbian students.
Faculty and staff of all of our schools, K through 12, community college, CSU, and University of California, should be free from discrimination, harassment, and violence on the basis of their sexual orientation.
She says the bill is needed because gay and lesbian students are constantly threatened in school. Students like Dominic Garcia was one of the unfortunate ones.
I've been a victim of a hate crime, and I got beat up in my own school by a student that didn't even belong on my campus.
Other students share similar situations.
And when I was going to high school, I got basically harassed every day verbally. People would, physically threaten me in classes.
I was physically abused because I'm gay on campus, and because of that, very little was done to the student who hit me.
Many of these students lack legal protection. Karen Glasgow is administrator for the Los Angeles Unified School District. She says the lack of legal protection is a result of state funding.
We have bills that are being introduced that will take away funding for any public school that shows gays or lesbians in a positive light in their curriculum. And without state funding, of course, our schools will crumble.
Dr. Nina Russo is the principal of Alexander Hamilton High School. She says with such legislation behind them, people will take this bill seriously.
People say things in terms of it's a joke, but a joke's not okay because it's at someone else's expense. So that's the education part of a bill like this that's very important to me, because it brings the issue up that it's not okay to joke, it's not funny, it's hurting people, it could cause someone to get hurt. And it's that sense of education that's important.
Both students and parents feel the bill will create a safe and learning environment.
It makes me feel a little bit safer just knowing that there's legislation out there that protects me as a student.
I would feel safer sending my son to school in a safe school, and it'll be a good educational experience for my son. And he does want to go to college, and I don't think that he should be left out and not being educated just because he's being harassed or, verbally harassed.
Supporters are hoping that the bill will surpass through various committees, and they're keeping their finger crossed, so if and when the bill gets to Governor Wilson's office, the bill will be approved. I'm Amy Lamb in West LA for Valley View News.
The U.S. Supreme Court is reviewing a Colorado initiative that would overturn laws protecting homosexuals from discrimination. The Colorado voters approved the Anti-Gay Rights Amendment 3 years ago. State court rulings found it unconstitutional, but Colorado officials argue that voters have the right to keep gays from getting preferred legal status. The recent rape of a 5-year-old girl has prompted strict school board action. The girl was molested when she went unaccompanied to the bathroom. All students from kindergarten through adult schools are now required to use the buddy system.
I was able to get reaction from school officials, students, and parents to the new policy. Parents and students are naturally concerned about safety in the Los Angeles Unified School District. LA School Board member Julie Korenstein thinks the action the school board has taken goes too far, though.
I felt that for elementary children, pre-kindergarten through 6th grade, it was a good idea and was wise. I thought that for older students, certainly high school students, that the schools should come up with their own policies.
Granada Hills High School junior Lisa Woipel says she already feels safe because there is a large police presence, and she thinks this measure is not the thing for high school kids.
We're in a gated school, so I think it's kind of asinine. I mean, it's not like anyone can get in school without an ID anyway, so it's like, I don't really know what the deal is in the high schools. I can understand the elementary schools.
Nancy Spitz, whose daughter attends Balboa Elementary School, says things are fine there.
My daughter feels very safe here.
How old is she?
She's a 5th grader, 10, almost 11.
The school board has required students from kindergarten all the way to adult school to go with at least one other student when they leave the classroom for any reason. Schools will most likely be told to devise their own specific ways to implement the plan. At Granada High, none of the students I talked to even knew about it. Some parents have things they're more worried about. Traffic along Balboa Boulevard is the biggest concern for Bridget Thomas, whose sons, aged 9 and 10, also attend Balboa Elementary.
The only concern is that the school is right on Balboa, that the yard is right on Balboa, and in this day and age you just really don't know what could happen. Nothing has ever happened.
Korenstein, who represents the 6th District, which is in the San Fernando Valley, sent her own kids to LA Unified Schools and says children are safe there.
I believe that the schools really are quite safe. I know that we'll get a lot of negative publicity, unfortunately, but compared to the communities around the schools, it's not that there is as much of a safety problem on the campuses. Many communities within LA are very unsafe, and the students coming to school, going back home from school, often face a very difficult route.
The LA School Police Department has even released a report that shows the overall crime rate on campus has actually gone down. That report compares the 1993-1994 school year to the previous year. It says crime has gone down in all but 2 categories. Sex offenses, anything from suggestive speech to sexual assault, went up 4%. Drug-related offenses went way up, 73%. However, there were no on-campus killings in 93-94, and reports of weapons on campus dropped 22%. A weapon can be anything from a rock to a gun. There were 132 assaults in 1992-93 and 119 in 93-94. Assault includes anything from a verbal threat to a fistfight. While that's more than there should be, if you consider that the district stretches from East LA to Woodland Hills and has more than 600,000 students and almost 50,000 staff members, it shows the vast majority of those involved in schools are able to go about their learning and teaching without incident. Affirmative action is quickly becoming one of the major political topics in the United States. President Clinton has called for a review of the minority preference programs, and California has an initiative being aimed at eliminating state programs. At the same time, the controversy over Proposition 187 continues. 1,500 people took to the streets on President's Day weekend to protest the measure which voters passed last November. Valley View's Carmina Ligareta was there.
More than 1,500 people gathered in downtown Los Angeles to protest Proposition 187. Protesters gathered on Olympic and Broadway. They marched through the heart of Los Angeles to Olvera Street. The march was organized by students from various campuses. 10 of those students took part in a 3-day hunger strike which preceded the march. At the Olvera Street Plaza, the hunger strike participants joined indigenous dancers in prayer. Yolanda Santoyo said a message of hope needed to be relayed to immigrants.
Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith, and don't leave us behind. You have to come forward for your community and speak for those who can't.
Although it was a peaceful demonstration, police were close at hand. The march was followed by entertainment, but those involved say this was just the beginning in their fight against the measure. I'm Carmina Legorreta in Los Angeles for Valley View.
Coming up after the break, Cal State Northridge celebrates 1 year of earthquake recovery, and Jason Wilmot will have a sports story.
There are countries where bread is scarce, but this is America. Countries where electricity is rare, but this is America. Countries where infant mortality is a problem, but this is America. Here, it's a crisis. Every 13 minutes, another infant dies. But we can help prevent many of those deaths with prenatal care from programs like Healthy Start. Find out what you can do. Why? Because this is America.
Mrs. Washburn, I'm Gerald Fry's mother. Oh, don't you work nights? I traded shifts. Mrs. Washburn, about Gerald, I wish I could help him learn better, but I'm no genius. Well, You don't have to do the homework, but ask to see it. Let him show off what he learned. Praise him more. Show you care. You think we got a chance here? A good chance. Show me a parent who really cares, and I'll show you a kid who can learn.
Cal State Northridge's continuing earthquake recovery has been the focus of a week-long celebration. The San Fernando Valley campus reopened 1 year ago, less than a month after the devastating quake. Kent Coloma reports on the university's vision of the future and the reflection of the past.
The quake brought destruction, death and tragedy, and understandable anxiety to University President Blenda Wilson. These images were captured by local news photographers and will be on display all semester in the Student Union. The exhibit is one of many events commemorating the first anniversary of the campus reopening on February 14th. Exactly 1 year later, Wilson welcomed faculty, staff, and students to this block party in front of the physical education building. Here, she joined with campus and civic officials to thank everyone involved in the recovery effort.
I want you to know that I've always been aware that all of those remarks and applause and congratulations I received could only be accepted on your behalf, because it was all of you who did the work, who did the caring, who made the creative spark that enabled classes to be created, buildings to be erected, safety to be secured.
After the kind words came action. Hot dogs were served, and local band April's Motel Room provided the entertainment. Next, the crowd moved across campus to the new science building where Wilson dedicated this monument to the faculty. Wilson herself put up $10,000 for the monument. It is made from a piece of the university's damaged parking structure. These bronze plaques contain the names of all faculty and staff at Northridge, names Wilson says are synonymous with the rebuilding.
There's nothing I have ever done that didn't require expertise and talent and good work far beyond my own.
Another gift to the university honors those who didn't survive the disaster. This donated painting depicts the 16 people killed in the Northridge Meadows apartment complex. 2 of the victims were CSUN students, Manuel Sandoval and Jaime Reyes. The picture will hang in the lobby of the Oviatt Library, the campus's signature building. The library itself stands as a symbol of the university. Like the campus as a whole, it's open, but far from 100%. Even so, university spokeswoman Carmen Ramos Chandler foresees continued campus improvement.
We still have a lot of recovery to do. We're only about a third of the way there. We hope to be nearly halfway there by the start of the fall semester, but we still have a lot to do, and we'll be the first ones to admit it. But this is a way of acknowledging we've crossed the biggest hurdle. Now it's just time.
The university's motto is not just back better. The faculty, student, and community turnout this week shows that is not an empty promise. All involved seem optimistic about their continued recovery, a recovery they face with courage and determination. I'm Kent Coloma in Northridge for Valley View.
A new guidebook says California State University Northridge is the perfect campus for students serious about education. The book grades all 22 CSU schools based on tours of the campuses. Northridge's National Center of Deafness and its Minority Business program are given high marks. Campus officials are pleased by the evaluation. They say widespread access to education is an important goal of the university. On the other hand, the school's social atmosphere receives a failing grade. Officials say the Northridge earthquake may contribute to this. The Cal State University Northridge administration says there isn't a parking problem, but students think otherwise. Pamela Byse has the story.
This is a typical day for students trying to find a parking space at Cal State Northridge. This lot is located at Dearborn, just off Zelza, on the eastern part of campus. It can hold 600 cars. It's usually full by 9 a.m. every day. Students use all kinds of strategies to get a space. Some offer rides to students so they can get their parking spot. Others run from lot to lot.
Well, it's a real pain in the butt. This is the 4th parking lot I've been to, and it's all packed.
Students say there aren't enough parking spaces at CSUN. But parking officials say even after the January 17th earthquake destroyed this four-level parking structure, there are sufficient amount of parking spaces available at Northridge. Mary Cooley is in charge of parking at CSUN.